Welcome back to another episode of What Are You Made Of with your boy, the unstoppable Mike C-Roc. I'm in the house today with a friend of mine I met via Instagram, of all places. I meet a lot of people, guys, Instagram, LinkedIn, but it's a great way to outreach to people if you have a true intention of why you want to meet people. And this gentleman here is in the NFT space, and I've gotten into the NFT space over the last year, actually doing a lot of marketing for them and just becoming an influencer with what I learned to share with people, because it's such a new space and people are uncomfortable with it. And where there's lack of knowledge stems insecurity. And, you know, I want to create unstoppable people. As you guys know, my mission is all people are unstoppable to live in the life of their dreams. In order to do that, you have to give people some knowledge so they get out of insecurity and then they get moving to live in the life of their dreams. So that's what I'm doing with the NFT space. This gentleman, Nick Ouritski, did I pronounce that right?
You got it right.
I met him on there, and a lot of, for people that don't know, a lot of people that do NFT projects stay. I guess they call it if you dox yourself, DOXX, I believe it's called.
Yep.
That's letting people know who you are and that you're behind the project. A lot of people in the NFT space don't do that. They don't share with what their project is, who's doing the project, because they probably, I'm guessing a lot of it has to do with confidence in the project's success. And they don't want people coming after them. I'll let Nick speak to that in a second. But anyway, Nick is an innovative and results-driven leader and self-made entrepreneur. He's also the co-founder of A-List Apes NFT, as well as NFT Metaversity, a new online education platform for NFTs. With over 18 years of experience in founding and managing digital marketing and auto sales startups, his business acumen has been recognized in several publications for achieving stellar results in highly competitive markets. In 2015, he was named as one of the 40 under 40 entrepreneurs in the automotive industry at only 31 years old. Nick, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it. It's great to be here.
Yeah, man. Look, I'm glad to have you here. I think you may be one of the first, if not the first, I'm trying to think of the shows I've had recently, people that have had an NFT project. So it's exciting. And I'm fired up to get this information out to my audience. And of course, a little selfishly myself, but let's stick with the, we want to stick with the tradition that we have on the show. And we start the show by asking the question, what are you made of?
Great question. I haven't thought about it until basically this question's coming up. But it's every day, you know, waking up. I have three young kids, all under 7 years old. I'm an immigrant myself from Russia. You know, I came here when I was 8, around the age of where all my children are right now. And it's self-improvement basically on a daily basis. I've endured a lot of entrepreneurial trials and tribulations. Everything has basically started from zero or a negative in regards to my life. A lot of adversity, you know, just maybe not having parents around, or having a massive business that goes, you know, away when you have these plans to give a certain life to your children. And then all of a sudden, you know, I had a massive business in 2015 that basically was eliminated in 75 days, fully liquidated, gone, lost everything. You know, a week before that, flying to business mastery with Tony Robbins in England on first class flight. And a week later, I basically, you know, my business is shut down and I have to liquidate $30 million of inventory. So that was challenging. I had 1-year-old twins at the time. And in regards to my motto right now in my life is basically, win big. But when I lost everything, for me, it was fail big. And when I lost everything, my whole entire motto in my head, I just kept saying how big I failed. I failed so big. And it was just this awful feeling. And then win big took over. And basically since the last 5 years, you know, my digital marketing agency is called Win Big Marketing. Everything is about winning big. So, but you can't win big until you fail big, and failing sucks. But, you know, every day, it's interesting when you have kids, you're able to see their little unique, you know, hourly challenges that they have, and being able to give them this guidance that, you know, each unique scenario that you have in your life that's a challenge basically can be conquered, you know, within that little micro segment. And then, you know, and then you continue to develop this characteristic and understand that each situation, even though you lose through it, it's a challenge. How you basically deal with it, it goes away, right? Every problem at some point goes away, whether you deal with it. And if you don't deal with it, it comes back, and I'm dealing with a situation like that right now. So Fail big, win big is definitely the motto. I am a person who, no matter what happens today, if I lose right now, I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning and I'm going to have a new creative outlet in regards to how to overcome my loss from yesterday. So that's what I'm made of. If I lose, I will accept it, and then I will move forward and I will win big in a different way or in the same game tomorrow.
Yeah, dude, that's a great lesson to teach your kids, man. And I think that really what it comes down to too is being focused on the future and dreams and goals of the future rather than your present time problems, like the current problems that you're dealing with. If you start focusing on only those and then you fail at those, then you start looking to the past because it's happened in the past. And then if you fail in the past, focusing on the past, then you just die. Like you don't want to. So it all reverts back to focusing on, okay, what's next? Okay, this is what's happening now. What's next? Yeah, I liquidated my company, $30 million worth of inventory. Like that sucks. Nobody wants to go through that, but like, okay, well, what are the choices now? Do I move forward or do I just go away? Right. There's no, and so what it comes down to is perspective as well. Right. I was thinking about this. You just said that, you came over to this country at, a young age. That means your parents came at an older age, right? Or whoever you came over with, right?
In a suitcase, let's put it this way. But
okay.
Yeah, it's complicated, but yeah.
Yeah. So like I'm in Miami yesterday and I put a story up on like I'll blog sometimes on a journal and I'll just do it like something quick. And the only place I either put it on my website or I put it on Facebook, LinkedIn sometimes. Instagram's not a good place to put a long blog, but I try to get it out there because if I have something that a realization of something, I got to get it out to people. It's just something I have. I can't hold it inside. So I met this guy from Cuba. He was a Cuban refugee and he was put in jail for 2 years because he had $21 US in his pocket, which you're not allowed to do in Cuba, I guess. So he was put in jail for 2 years for that. When he got out, he's like, I'd rather die trying to get out of this condition than live in this condition. So he gathered 7 other people. They got, he said a raft, right? They came over in a raft. I'm like, what does that mean to you? What is a raft, right? And literally they got 6 inner tubes and tied them together, 8 people with a compass and paddles. And they came over to the United States. It took them 6 days. They didn't know how long it was going to take them to get to freedom, which they called freedom, which to me, my definition of freedom and their definition of freedom, totally different because they were trying to get to the United States, no language, no English, right? Spanish only, no money, no connections, didn't know anything about the land, but that was freedom to them, right? So it's perspective as well, because you failing, me failing on a daily basis or on a bigger thing doesn't compare to what you went through coming to this country or this gentleman here that floated to the United States, right?
It's exactly the lesson. Like, my life I've structured my life in a way where I'm there for basically breakfast every single day for my children, which I didn't have that when I was a kid, and then evening, making dinner and having an early dinner. So regardless of how my business day, works, that's like my structure, right? And I give them food, I make them food, I make it with my own hands. I put the time, the energy, the love. They know that they also like to cook or whatever sometimes and learn to cook. And they can when they're in a good mood, they'll sprinkle love into the food, right? So, but when they're in a bad mood, you make them food, you spend the time, you give the energy, and you want them to be healthy and strong and better than you and all that stuff. And then you give it to them. And I don't want it. I don't want this. I don't want that. Or Dad, get me this. Dad, get me that. Get me that. I want this. Get me this drink. And there's no, yes, you can remind them so many times, thank you, please. And then, I do give them those parallels. Like in Russia, we had to wait online for eggs. So, because it was a communist time I came here in 92, but I lived there from 84. So that was communist regime. There's no real, so every single, and my wife is from the United States. So her perspectives on the world in terms of what's a struggle for her against what's a struggle for me is completely different. And the biggest challenges that we have on a daily basis, I look at them in a different way, and that's fine. That's everybody's different, and life is like that. So it's it's an interesting dynamic. People who are hungry, who just have this innate hunger to just keep building, and it obviously resonates with having the ability to see the future and placing yourself in a place where there's a certain level of, achievement or success. And that's kind of how I have been, for a while. I mean, it's, I guess it's mostly, through books and leaders that I've read that kind of gave that structure maybe, but then also like not having much, when I was 10, 12, 15 years old, just imagining how I could have a bunch of money because I didn't have anything. That was the visualization back then. And now, it's funny, like my son is already vision boarding his yachts and his planes. And I don't really talk about like yachts and planes, but, so he has some kind of innate thing going on. And, they're learning NFTs and they know, what crypto is, and they're, 5 and 7 years old. And, they'll be the future leaders of this world. I think, that's my definitely, what are you made of? Like I'm made of to make sure that my children are going to be way more successful than me, but we can't control that. Like we can only do what we do on a daily basis by leadership. And that's an interesting dynamic that I'm dealing with as a human being, beyond just, being a businessman and an entrepreneur, just being a good father and a human being.
Yeah, dude, I love that, because you can't be super successful without being that first, because it'll take away from your success, man. So what business was it that you had to liquidate and all that? What kind of?
So in 2009, well, basically in 08 when everything collapsed, right? I was in the auto industry, was doing a lot of export overseas, just shipping cars, all over the world basically. And it was a massive market for 4 or 5 years. Then in 08, everything collapsed and I got stuck with this, upside down inventory. I had I was only like 23 or something like that at the time. Anyway, so whatever, I wound up buying a business, a car dealership, a used car dealership that was a retail outlet that was literally like this wooden box trailer in the middle of New Jersey, in Morristown, New Jersey. And, could fit like 30 cars. So I put my upside down inventory that was way overpriced, that was made for export, and, put them all online. That's kind of how I started out of college, like, I don't know, 5 years prior to that. So we listed the cars, and basically from January 2009 in a trailer, in 2015, we had 3 locations. I had like 150 employees. We had 800 cars in inventory. Massive auto dealership, one of the top independent dealers in the country. And I was like, that was when Carvana was coming out, and I was scaling up, trying to become, this national auto empire. And, everything was tech-based. It was, I was buying 100 cars a day at the auctions, all online. They were getting, 12, 15 trucks delivered. I had all the employees, like, rotating machine basically that was in effect. And, it was a firewall problem with the motor vehicle department that basically, like, I opened up a new facility, the major facility. There was a car wash attached to it. They came in, they wouldn't like finalize the license, even though I had put like $1 million of renovation costs in there. It was just this like big, long journey of over 6 years to go from 30 cars to 800 with floor plans and everything I had, I put on the line. And it was like I was going for the big scalability, effect. And I think I could have done it if that situation didn't come to be. I had architects fighting, lawyers fighting, driving around in Bentleys, living next to Forbes, founder of the magazine as my neighbor. I was 30 years old, like all the success you could have. And then basically literally in the matter of it was from June 15, 2015, September 1, the day that the publication Top 40 Under 40 published, bittersweet. I closed the doors and everything was done.
So first of all, a couple things on that. One, Grant Cardone talked about this. I just was hanging out with him. I'm a partner with him in the tech space. I was 2 days ago down there, and he said to this group, there was only a small group there at the office. He said, most people, and he was saying you guys, he says you guys a lot, you guys don't want to take risks. Like you guys don't want to put all your credit cards on the line and load them all up, get all the equity out of your house, file bankruptcy if you need to. You're not willing to do all these different things, but you say you'll do whatever it takes. Like you did that. Like, and that's the only way that, first of all, you got to the point to be in that position to be able to do that anyway and live where you lived and have the success that you had. But the one thing with that is you put yourself in that position. Like you put yourself in, and the reason I'm saying this is I write my goals down and I put a quote down every single day. And today's quote was, what was it about the journey? You're on a journey that you selected for yourself. Like it's your journey. It's the problems that come along from what you're dealing with. It's something we select, right? Like you wanted to go big. Well, there's going to be things that happen if you do that. And there's things that could happen if you do that, but you're like, we selected it. You could have had probably mediocre success and lived a mediocre life, but have been happy, whatever. But you would have never known what you could achieve if you didn't go for it, right? Like you said, fail big. So one thing is risk. You got to be willing to risk some things. But the problem with that is most people are too worried about what other people think, that if they fail, they have to file bankruptcy, they have to like downsize their lifestyle, what people would think. When in actuality, we could all do that if we needed to, right? What's the worst case scenario if we don't die, right? So I want to ask you to speak to that. Like at that moment, having the lifestyle that you had, what went through your head and what was it like to downscale and downside, whatever you needed to do to adjust your lifestyle to what you were dealing with?
So I failed. I basically went from everything to, like having 20 grand into my name. The good thing was I had all my connections and I had a lot of business years and people in the environment in the auto industry that still knew what I was capable of, and I was still young and hungry. So I did like fast, get right back on my feet. Like I helped. I mean, there's a chain of auto industry, professionals that are like come from our, tree lineage, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, and then I failed again after that, just to make it clear. I went to Florida and I tried to I built a new one in New Jersey, but it wasn't mine. With my previous manager, we built up an auto dealership that was selling 150 to 200 cars within a year, with 2,000. So we used to have Lambos and like all high-end cars. And then we started selling shit cans. Basically, we were buying cars. Mm-hmm. I had like 20 grand. I'm like, all right, I'll buy 10 cars, for 2,000 each, flip them, make, 20, 30 grand. Whatever. But so my guys gave me floor plans. Within 6 months, I had $1 million in floor plans. And my ego was the problem. My ego was so hurt and damaged by my inability to achieve my goals. And I felt like it was unfair, that the world was unfair, that this firewall problem, took me down, that it wasn't because of all my work and everything like that. So there was a lot of ego that I was dealing with internally that I had to work through. And I think I've worked through to this point, but it's been 7 years, and it's going to be 7 years in 5 months. So I started making a bunch of money, like within 6 months. Again, I was making $50,000, $60,000 a month off of these like awful little cars. And initially, I had to sell my house. I had to move. My wife was pregnant with our third child. Our twins were 1. Everything comes when you have only 20 grand. You can't go and like spend whatever amount of money at a restaurant that is normal. But I already lived through that life. Like I knew when I was a kid growing up, my TV was in high school, my TV was on my floor of like a little apartment. I wouldn't bring my wife as my wife from high school. I wouldn't bring her to my, house because like it was a garbage can. That's how I deemed it. So, but in the last 5 years, we did fail again. And, that's kind of like, I used to drive high-end cars. Now I drive normal cars, and my friends who are all in the auto, and like, it's not about your car. It's about, and that's why we're in this NFT journey, is because this is so new. Like it's new. As soon as I found out about crypto, then you get into crypto, and now NFT, the amount of work that NFTs require is fucking 20 to 2 hours a day. And like, it's, like,
whoa, say that again.
20 to 22 hours per day. I've been working for 5-6 months now.
For the NFT? For
the NFTs. Yeah.
And why does it take so many hours?
20 to 22 hours a day if you want to really be successful in the NFT space, because the quantity of information that you need to take in order to build a project now is just, it's mind boggling. The amount of work, the amount of micro steps that need to go in, the technology that no one, unless you go and you invest, like Gary Vee says, he spent 50 hours learning about it. Yeah, that's to go and flip NFTs, to go and buy, invest your money, and then, try to sell them on the secondary market. That's investing 50 hours. If you want to go and build a project and you want to understand Discord and you want to build a community of people and you want to be able to understand how layering art works, how you're able to create a collection, how to utilize social media, how you can't run paid ads and you can't market in a normal way. Like, we can take any real world business now and run, we spend millions of dollars a year in terms of paid ads for our digital marketing business, scaling up e-commerce and scaling up brick and mortar businesses. But NFT can't run ads. So like, how do you go and sell?
Why? I didn't know that. Like
you can't run ads.
What's against the policy of Facebook and all that?
Yep. Well, Google, like all that stuff.
Google?
You can't Google, YouTube, Twitter, you can't run crypto, like you can't run NFT ads. Instagram, you can run front end Instagram ads. They opened it up, but if you connect your Instagram to Facebook, it auto chops your account and you're deactivated from running on front end Instagram ads.
That's why it's so attractive for projects to work with influencers.
And the influencers is tough as well, because, your community, like not most people's communities don't know what the hell an NFT is. They don't know how to go and get MetaMask. And that's why we shifted into NFT Metaversity, because we figured out the back end marketing systems that are available within Discord, within Instagram, and how you're able to basically deliver volume messaging, semi-targeted, but it's not really that targeted, to the people that are in the space, right? It's like it's approximately, I think, 4.5 million people across the world that are, scraping, kind of figured out. But what's happened is when we hit up all these people, there's like, yeah, I'll take a free NFT, or I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I want an NFT. I have no idea. And then the people that are coming in, that's new people, noobs, they're throwing $400 or $500, depending on what the price of ETH is. And they're like, how do I get my NFT? So you have a scalable problem of people who are willing to throw $500 in the casino, don't even know how to get it into their wallet, don't know that they have to pay gas fee in order to list it on the secondary market.
Yep.
Don't know what minting is. Don't know, like it's 50 hours just to understand what to do as an investor.
I got to say, I mean, I've invested at least 50 hours, but I didn't look at it as 50 hours. I just looked at it as, okay, I'm going on a journey, and then I spend time every day doing it. And I've been doing it for a year. So I guess if I do it let's say an hour a day, that's 365 hours. So, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think of it that way, but yeah, Gary spent more than 50 hours. He's full of shit.
Oh yeah. Just drawing those little,
yeah, dude,
I mean,
come on. He's just speaking off the cuff there, because like, I spent, figuring out the wallets and all that stuff. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, at first you feel really insecure though. I mentioned that in the beginning of the show. You feel insecure and you're like, my trigger though is when I feel insecure about something, it's because I don't know something. I got to go find it out. And if everybody can just switch to that process, you'll be a lot better off. So like, what's your goal with this? Like with the A-list apes, for example, so has that launched, by the way?
It's launched. Yeah. We've minted. Okay. We're actually launching the wives tomorrow. So we have the female version of the males. The males was the first collection. There's 850 units that have been minted. So it's 999 unit collection. 850 approximately have been minted. And tomorrow we're launching the wives. So it's the female version of the apes. And right now, in development, we were building the token for A-list, the A-list token. We're building a marketplace where basically people who are going to be who are NFT holders of our project will get the ability to claim their A-list tokens, and then they'll be able to take their NFTs and stake them in our marketplace and stake their tokens, and basically get compound interest on their A-list tokens. They'll be able to have passive income. So and then we're gonna create little babies and be able to the holders of the males and the females will be able to have the ability to mint little babies, and it'll be a family. I mean, there's a ton of projects in the space. Like, you know, the first, I guess, like really when you start out, you know, or maybe on my journey when I started out, first I started looking at projects, you know, looking at OpenSea and going through and just looking at what was in the market at the time, what was coming up, and, you know, just trying to understand like how it works, right? Like, it's in our course, I take people through the Bored Apes, right? So the Bored Apes, you know, I think I only recorded this maybe 2 weeks ago, this lesson, where I walked the people through OpenSea, where you're able to see, like, on Etherscan, basically, which is, you know, the tracker of all Ethereum transactions, and it's connected into OpenSea. You can go and see when the Bored Apes were minted. The Bored Apes were minted 8 months ago, and they minted for 0.08 Ethereum.
Hold on. Bored Ape Yacht Club. That was only 8 months ago.
Well, now maybe 8.5 months.
I didn't even realize that. I don't know why I didn't realize that. I was thinking it was like I don't know.
The floor is 75 ETH right now for one image.
Right. It was 0.08 they minted at.
They minted at 0.08 Ethereum, and the floor right now for the least rare one, or who, you know, the most paper-handed holder, is 70. I think it's 75 ETH as of. Yeah,
I saw that. So why did they blow up? How were they able to blow up? What was the success formula?
Well, they're first, right? Well, not first, but, you know, along the lines of being the first. It's tough. Like, I you know, again, I've been in crypto, you know, since 17, on crypto Twitter, you know, basically also, very, you know, spend a lot of time, you know, on a daily basis, just following the top industry experts, like the leaders, the people who are the whales in terms of, not like the Brock Pierces and the Michael Turpins and, like, you know, maybe, the top people, like, you know, the really professional ones, but more of like the degenerates that are trading and, you know, that are young and cool and have made a bunch of money, and they're just, you know, they're just crypto degenerates, right? And then all of a sudden, this whole NFT thing was like coming out of nowhere, and one of the crypto Kobe's, like, really, like, this really, like, he plays himself as like Kurt Cobain of crypto on Twitter. I'm not friends with him or anything like that, but just him, he's like really like a leader in the space, and he's got a big podcast, I think, also a crypto podcast, and he started talking about these NFTs, and it was like, and then Gary launched this project, and I've been, you know, Gary helped me through my, you know, along with Grant and following them, you know, basically when I lost everything, like, and social media was really coming around that time, and following them, and Gary launched, and I was like, I was like crypto trade. I was trading, leverage trading, trying to like just figure out the price action on projects. I was like, what is like this NFT stuff is, you know, my sister's a 1% founder of Celsius Network, of the, you know, it's the bank of crypto, basically. Like, she worked for me since she was 12 years old up until she graduated Miami University, went in as a regular little marketing girl for Alex when Celsius was launching in 2018, and she became his number 2 person in the company from a marketing position. And like the solutions they implemented at Celsius Network, which has become this, I mean, the next step is trillions in basically in their control, right? Like the bank of the bank of crypto. So you can deposit your crypto there. You don't even have to deposit Bitcoin. You can buy, like, if your bank's not paying you anything right now, right? You put 100,000 or 10 million in your bank, you're not getting any interest. So you can go and buy, you know, $100,000 worth of USDT stablecoin, which is just crypto, but it's a stablecoin, deposit into Celsius's wallet, and you're going to get 10 to 12% interest on your money in USDT or in Bitcoin or whatever, or Ethereum. So like, they built this over 4 years, this mega company. And what it, you know, again, no, you're not allowed to run ads. So Alex was like, he at NFT Miami, he was talking on stage, and he's like, it's like 700 appearances at events over, you know, a 4-year span. This is dedication. This is how people are able to go and grow something from nothing. And you know, NFTs is new. It's 8 months, right? Like, it's so new. Anyone who doesn't know anything about NFTs right now, it's you haven't missed anything. It's like when Bitcoin was, you know, $100. This is what NFTs, like, they can't count an election. They were not able to count an election. where I can go onto Etherscan and I can tell you when a Bored Ape was minted for 0.08 Ethereum. I can tell you every single wallet transfer that occurred through the blockchain. It's all transparent. It's all right in front of your eyes. You just have to be able to understand what you're looking at, but it's all transparent. Like there's nothing you can do on the blockchain that's not transparent. And the NFT is basically the scalable, solution for everything that's non-transparent in this world. The only challenge right now, and the blockchains like Solana and Polygon and Cardano are going to solve with the gas fees, right? The gas fee, if you want to mint an NFT, you got to pay $100 to $200 in gas to make sure it embeds in the blockchain. But Cardano on Polygon, it's basically free. So if you know how to buy Matic, or hold Matic in your wallet, which is basically the same thing, you can go and transact without any gas, and you can go and do, all your art, any artist, and you don't have to pay anything. Like it's free. You can go and do it, but it's a lot of artists reached out. It's just a bunch of people reaching out and asking, like, how do you start? How do you do this? How do you do that?
Yeah. Well, like what's going to happen to Ethereum when all these other ones take off? Like a 2.0, is it going to be gas free?
No, there's a lot going on with ETH 2.0. They're changing the roadmap. I don't know that I'm the exact like scientist to be able to go and explain that.
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know if you knew that.
Yeah, no, but in terms of like, there's DeFi, right? On ETH, transactions happen fast. Yesterday, I transacted in Litecoin, Bitcoin, and Ethereum, and just some transactions of different stuff that I was doing. Litecoin, was instant, basically appeared. Ethereum is within a minute. Bitcoin took like 30 minutes. So the blocks are too heavy on Bitcoin. Ethereum moves fast enough right now. It's just expensive. So because of DeFi, so people have a lot of Ethereum locked. A lot of big projects have Ethereum locked, and they're getting yield, right? So they lock up their Ethereum. They're getting their interest and all that stuff. So DeFi, it's a decentralized financial revolution that's happening on Ethereum, right? Bitcoin is gold, it's your asset, but Ethereum is the mover of the whole entire market. So in my opinion, the number one asset to hold is Ethereum if you want, good opportunity to make additional money in the next 5 to 10 years. Like Ethereum,
even though these other projects are coming out with gas free, that people won't start moving to those other ones and leave Ethereum alone.
Ethereum will figure it out. The fees will go down. I mean, they have the smartest developers in the world. They have like Denver's coming up. They have this massive hackathon coming up in February. I mean, Ethereum is like is Bitcoin in 2015 or whatever. Right now, that's 100%, and they will figure it out. What they will do will never be replaced by any other blockchain. But you need multiple blockchains. Like Polkadot is going to be massive. There's huge company. There's huge projects that are going to create bridges that will be able to interact between all the blockchains. It's a technical revolution. Like it's
yeah. So on your project, right? So how do you gauge success on your project? Like what targets did you set for yourself with A-list apes and then the wives and all that? And like, what's considered a success to you? And then the other follow-up question to that is like floor prices. Like, how do you control your floor price? Is there really a way to control your floor price? And do you really care about what your floor price is unless you strike big?
Well, I can tell you I can tell you multiple projects, right, that launched this week. Like, for example, like the Bored Bunny project. In the last month, they launched Bored Bunnies. They were minting at 0.4 Ethereum. They sold out 5,000 units. They're 3D. Then within 3 weeks, they created NFT Bored Bunny, and they had the first collection was 5,000 units. Their Discord is like 300,000 people in a short period of time. They minted at 0.4 the second project. They didn't sell it out, so they cut the supply, because they just understood that they didn't have it. There's a lot of hype. There's a lot of manipulation, you could say, that projects are doing. Like, you can buy all these Discord members, and we didn't do that for our project. Like, for Gary Vee has 18,000 Discord members in his Discord, and he sold out 3 projects already with 18,000 real fans. So there's another project that launched. There was the massive project is called Ape Beast. It was like, I got scammed for one whole Ethereum on it, like not paying attention at 5 o'clock in the morning. 3 months ago. I was like, I got a DM on Discord. It's like, here a link. I looked in the website. I'm like, okay, there's a lot of scams on Discord. Discord's scary for new people. I hated Discord while I was studying the 50 to 100 hours to just be able to say that I can, buy an NFT type of thing. I guess like you can't control a floor. I mean, you can build your community, you can gauge your community, you can get people to submit. We had a massive email list, that we had like 3,000 people. The commitment was 10,000 units, and then you don't know what you just don't know what's going to happen. So, in terms of success, like for us, what's happened is we have been going in person. Like NFT Miami. We were just at Bitcoin Miami. We're going to East Denver in 2 weeks. We're going to South by Southwest in March, which is massive. And then NFT LA is massive. But we made connections with like high level people. We're through this project, we've connected, and we're actually part of another bigger project that I don't know that I'm going to kind of go into right now with some serious people in the NFT space, and we can circle back and get them on here. That there's like 12 projects already in commitment. There's celebrities and heavyweight people, and like, I don't want to drop names, but
no.
From being there,
relationship capital.
Yeah. So it's so early, right? So this A-list Ape 999 unit collection, we'll execute the tech. We'll create the content. We have 25,000 Instagram members in 60 days. Like, it's a brand, right? It's not the Bored Apes, but Bored Apes 8 months ago was nothing. CryptoPunks were free. And so we're going to build. Like, my objective in the space is to create a lab. So, this project is what it is. There's multiple founders that have done multiple projects, and, they're doxed. So you learn from executing a project. What is the technology? The technology is art right now in a collectible. Like, just to develop the art, it takes 30 days. How do you come up with these unique traits that they have? Well, as a founder, you have to communicate that with your artist, and then they deliver you these little pieces of art that then you have to figure out how they come together. And it's 700 traits. Like, just think in your,
they don't have automated generators that do that. Like,
they do, but you have to come up with the 700. You have to come up with the original traits, the original art that layers together. You create, you can create 100,000 units or 1,000,000 units, but the initial creation is very time consuming.
And how do you determine whether you want to do something like CryptoPunks kind of look, which is like not really art,
3D,
but it's art, but it's not.
3D is the new thing now. Like, your art's got to be in 3D because the metaverse is coming, and you buy the land. And I mean, like Snoop's, Snoop Dogg's Sandbox. He had the concert, and everything is pixel arted, right? Or you build the infrastructure of your collection in 3D, and then you have your animators that are able to basically. Right. It's a visual experience. It's a user experience. If you're going to go and play in pixel art, you're going to play in pixel art, and that's the visual.
Gotcha. You just have to decide what genre you want to be in other words, or what niche.
Well, but game development is hard, right? Like, so part of this new group that, we're involved in, we have like a serious game developer as part of the team, and, EA Sports, like big game, basically experience in regards to the marketplace. And it's, games cost $30,000 to $50,000 for just the base, like non-crazy games. The Bored Apes have made, I think, $1 billion in royalties so far. And they launched their first version of their game, and the market sentiment was that it wasn't good. And the visual, it's arcade, old Street Fighter, Pac-Man.
Oh, okay.
There wasn't a good response, but they made $1 billion in royalties.
They can afford to miss. They can afford to miss.
I don't know. I don't know. They can do whatever they want, but at the end of the day, like, technology takes time to develop, right? And
are the Bored Apes doxed? The founders? Yeah,
they've come out. Yeah, they've had the meetings. Yeah. Right now, it's just the crazy thing is how many projects. Like, when we, competition, brings the cream to the crop, right? Like, that's a great. the environment, if you're really like trying to follow the market and you're there all day long, the amount of projects that are coming out right now is just mind-boggling.
That's the thing. Like, dude, I get hit up constantly in my DMs,
It's
constantly
crazy.
on Instagram, Discord. I don't even look at, I don't even look at my DMs in Discord. I just delete them all. And I don't even know how you keep up with Discord because I don't feel like going through there and looking at all the stuff. And I just, right now for me, I'm just going to work for NFTs, helping people promote. And then hopefully a couple of my NFTs go off. Like that's the way I'm looking at it. Cause I don't have the time with everything that we're into, to really invest into, Discord, all that shit, man. I just don't
Well,
have the time.
our NFT Metaversity is only $29, subscription. So it's just affordable. The entry there is we're able to actually market it.
How can people get that, by the way?
NFTmetaversity.com.
Okay.
Basically simple NFT. And then it's, instead of university, it's Metaversity. Is a good domain hunt that I worked on late evening in the lab. Months back before, but really this A-list Apes gave me the understanding that the market needs major education. Like, the people need to be educated on this technology. There's a lot of people that want to enter the space that don't, like, the information is always scattered, right? You can go and try to find leaders to study, and you don't know exactly what piece of content to consume to improve yourself, like, on any given day, right? Sometimes you get lucky and just the content appears, but it's just the quantity of information in this world is just, it's insane.
So does it take people from the, like, not knowing anything, very low level, and then carry them up through more advanced?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, within, a few days, you'll be very competent in regards to understanding the technical systems, understanding, for example, how I would evaluate a project. Like, I mean, Instagram, Twitter, like, you have to go through an evaluation process. Like, if you go and look at a crypto to invest in, every project you read is going to almost be like, wow, this is crazy. Like, I want to invest in this. Like, almost every project, every white paper I've ever read has always been like, hell yeah. Well, where's the money to invest in all this? Right. Like,
Yeah.
And then there's the teams and all that stuff. So, I mean, it's the same, but this is just, this NFT thing is, you got to like the art. You got to know that there's a bunch of people, but you also have to make sure that the people are communicating and it's actual real people in every community. Like, that would be an important factor.
Yeah. Dude, the giveaways and the utility don't mean shit unless it's a good team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And because that's just false promises. And final question here, because we got to wrap up. I respect your time, dude. We ran over. I just realized what time it was. I'm having so much fun listening to you. How are smart contracts enforced? Is there a way to enforce them?
As soon as it executes, there's no going back. Like, that's the whole thing, is when you get scammed, you're done. You send the money, you go onto your MetaMask, you say confirm, it gives you the information. They say, are you willing to pay this gas fee? Are you willing to send this quantity of Ethereum or whatever crypto to this specific wallet?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
But I'm not talking about that part. I'm talking about the utility that comes in the smart contract that says, if you buy this NFT, then you will get X and Z and Y, whatever.
Yeah, there's not.
How is that enforced? There's no enforcement, right?
No, absolutely not. There's no enforcement of any roadmap. It's the people either do it or not. There's no smart contract to execution. The only thing that the smart contract validates for you is that you're agreeing to invest this amount of Ethereum to mint this initial NFT, and whatever this project chooses to do down the line with this NFT, they will do. And that will either raise the value of the project or decrease the value of the project. And if not enough people cling to this project, then it just is what it is. You'll have the art. That's the whole point, is like, CryptoPunks were free. The people got the image, they held it, they hodled it, they didn't do anything. Maybe there was no market for a long time, but there was no other projects. And now you're a multimillionaire, right? Like, you cannot touch a CryptoPunk as a normal human being. So for me coming into the space, like for A-list Apes, the vision was, well, let's include all the new beginners. Let's get people into this, the people that want to come into a community and get into a project. Let's get them in. Let's figure it out. Let's continue to build. Let's build this roadmap, because it's all executable. It's all technologically, feasible to do. So it's not like You don't go and buy Bitcoin, for $100 and then start questioning the founders. Like, what are you doing on a daily basis? That's
Right.
what in the space right now is very challenging to be a founder, because the community, first of all, it's a big community and you have to be there interacting with them. People want like daily things. Like, we launched our project 30 days ago. We went to 2 physical events. We were at 2 physical events, at the biggest events we could be at, growing our brand, communicating with top end people. We do our, our marketing, our social content, but like, can't run ads. We happily run ads. So what daily like update would you what can we do on a daily basis? So nothing is overnight. Nothing in business is overnight. Nothing in life is overnight, except what you want to eat. So you got to build, you got to work. And if you're there and you continue to grow and learn and see and come up with creative concepts, then it will work. And that's, that's the type of communities that I would be investing in. Definitely the 3D. I bought projects that during mint yesterday, it was called Shiba Beast. So I'll give you this, I'll wrap up with this. So Hate Beast is what I got scammed on a few months ago. Hate Beast minted, their floor day after mint was 8 Ethereum. After mint, the 8 Ethereum is their floor on a 10,000 or 8,000 unit collection. Untouchable.
Selling it what? Minting it what?
I don't even know what their mint was, because I stopped following. When I got scammed, I hit them up. I'm like, guys, I just lost $4,000 on ETH. Can I just get a whitelist spot? Their response to me from their team, their moderators, was, hey, buddy, our whole community would love to get scammed just like you did to get a whitelist spot.
Yeah.
So there was a project called Shiba Beast. They copied Shiba, Shiba's huge, right?
Yep.
Community's huge. They copied Hate Beast. They had like 200,000 Discord members. They launched their mint at 0.3. It was 2 days ago. I was like, all right, I'll get it. And it was 0.3. So I got a couple of Shibas during mint. So like they inflated the numbers, wasn't real. They only minted 2,500 units out of 10,000 or out of 8,000. And people instantly because pros watch, they mint, and then they're like, shit, it's not gonna sell out. There are people paper handing themselves out at 0.07 Ethereum during live mint.
I've seen it happen.
I was like, whoa, that's crazy. Like, you're gonna invest $1,000 and take a 75% haircut. Like, that's your paper hand mentality. It's a wild, wild west right now.
Well, I saw a project that I think that some of the bigger projects look at some other ones that they think are going to be good, and then they go in and on purpose buy them and then paper hand them on purpose. While during mint, you got a mint going on at like 0.1, let's say, and they're in there selling at 0.05 or 0.06 while the mint's just right as soon as it's going on. And then that like sabotages the project right away, which is like, can't guard against that either. Like, there's a lot of things that need to be worked out, but like, can I go wrong marketing for people and not paying for NFTs? But like, that's I'm earning them that way, right? I could accept money, but I just say, you know what, screw it. I don't want the money. This is gonna be an NFT. And if they drop in the rug pool, it doesn't hurt me, because people are going to forget about the stories anyway. And then eventually one of them is going to hit. Like, it's gotta hit some point, right?
I mean, I would love to be in the days where the internet was created and be a person who was building the internet. And anyone who's in NFTs right now is a person who was in that market. And if you're communicating with communities and you're investing your time into this technology, like, listen to the top people in the world talk about NFTs. Just listen to the technology that it is. You don't have to listen to me. The election could not be counted. Like, what else can you say? They couldn't count an election with 330 million people that could go on the blockchain, click yes, and you have a wallet, but then you can manipulate the wallet. So everything's it's all manipulation. But like, really, like, once it's transacted, when the scams go, that people steal stuff from wallets, that goes into the wallet and it sits there. And then the whole community just goes and watches the one wallet with all the stolen funds. And then what? And then they can distribute it to all these different wallets, but then from that wallet, you see every single transaction where it went. It's all traceable.
But you can't get the money back that you got scammed out of, because you agreed to pay those people, right? because they can steal it from
that way. Yeah. Like if you send it to the wrong place or whatever the case may be, like there's improvements that there's all these domains that are making things easier. The names, the wallets are confusing. You just got to look at the last 4 digits of the wallet where you're sending it to make sure, like, you don't need to look at 17 digits. Just make sure the last 4 is fine. It takes time. Like, it's an overwhelming, technology for new people.
Well, Nick, look, we ran over, dude, and I want to thank you for the extra time here. I appreciate you, man, and I look forward to possibly working with you here in the future.
Absolutely.
On some things. I got some ideas already just from listening to you. So anyway, thanks for coming here, man. Thank you guys for listening, continuing to support the What Are You Made Of movement. Keep coming back. Keep subscribing on your favorite podcast platform. If you like to watch these, go to YouTube, Mike C-Roc, Ciorrocco. Watch out for Blueprinted and Tipperosity, our new tech products that we're pushing out of the 10X incubator. Proud to be partnered with Jared Yellen and Grant Cardone. And if you guys need anything, just reach out to your boy C-Roc. Until next time, be unstoppable.